Hello, my name is Krista Leach, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the value of community. During this course, I really enjoyed learning about how the Quaker values were all founded upon making ethical choices, and I felt like community was a great place to start to be able to put that into action by supporting those around me. I also wanted a chance to be able to take the values of community and put that outside of my work life. I chose the career that I'm in right now because I do enjoy serving others, but I wanted to be able to expound upon that and take that into my life outside of work as well. So, what is community? To me, a community is a sense of supportive connection and responsibility for those around you. Also, during this time, I was forced to ask myself, what are we choosing to do when we choose to lead? Are we doing this for self serving reasons? Or are we doing it to support other people? Is it a combination of the two things? So, when we first started beginning to learn about community, I really enjoyed this quote from Robert K. Greenleaf. And it says, "The servant leader is servant first. It begins with a natural feeling that one wants to serve, then a conscious choice brings one to aspire to lead. The best test is, do those served grow as persons? Do they, while being served, become healthier, wiser, freer, more autonomous, more likely themselves to become servants?" So during this time, I really wanted to make sure that I was making a conscious choice to be lifting others up and being more selfless in my choices and being meaningful about the concept of community going forward. Here's another quote that I like about by civil rights leader Coretta Scott King. And she says, "In every community there is work to be done. In every nation there are wounds to heal. In every heart there is power to do it." So this experience really solidified for me that I can have an impact on those around me in a positive way, but beyond my role with students. So it really made me think about what else I can do to help people. And I think this fits into my life because I am one of the teachers that lives in the community where I teach as well. So it's already really important to me that I'm modeling for my students and leading by example. But I think that taking it to the next level, getting to know their families, getting to know what kind of, struggles and things that they face and what kind of help they might need. I just think that that is super valuable to deepening those relationships. I also realized that community is more than just the people that are living around you or that you're in close contact with every day. But I also feel like that's a really good place to start when you are trying to begin a journey of having a deeper sense of community and stepping up to the plate and accepting that responsibility. This also fits into my life because I'm already in a space where I'm being called to serve. Like I mentioned before, there's a reason why I chose this field. There's a reason why I chose this career. I really feel called to help students around me be the best version of themselves they can, whether that's finding strategies that work for them in areas of their studies or if they're facing some adversity outside of school and helping navigate those kind of problems and find resources and helping them find value within themselves and just know we're all important, we're all needed, and we all belong. One thing that I did have a challenge facing was in the past, I felt like, well, I wouldn't be able to serve other people because I am also somebody who doesn't necessarily have financial means to do so. So throughout this experience, I was really trying to push myself to find ways to serve that weren't monetary. And I thought that that was really valuable too because there's so many ways that you can be a servant leader. So here's a few goals that I set for myself during this time and just having active listening skills. I found a little short clip on YouTube as well that had some of these goals: active listening, stewardship, commitment, awareness, empathy, healing, supportive, always making sure you're treating everybody equally, including everybody. Those are all things that you can do without spending any money. Like just being there for somebody holds a lot of power, and you can serve in big and small ways. These are just some photos of the pantries that I helped with. This day that I took the photos actually wasn't the day of my service project. The day of my service project, they were doing Thanksgiving meal giveaways, and after that day, I actually helped a couple more times in this Wildcat Market, and then I went to the Goodrow Middle School pantry as well. And these are some forms that people have to fill out when they come to the pantry. I also was able to volunteer some other days that didn't have people coming to get food, but it was like unloading the trucks, organizing things, getting rid of things that were maybe beyond the date, um, just helping with some organizational things. Yeah, so it was a really fun experience being able to go beyond just a service project. I also took some opportunities to find out where some local community fridges were at and stocked some of that with items that my family didn't use. I'm also somebody that uses food pantries on occasion, so there are often times when there isn't things that we use. So you can always share those resources with somebody else that might use them. Yeah, so I thought that that was really eye opening just to be able to find those little ways that you could make a little extra effort that really didn't cost you anything either. Just things that you aren't using that you could put in the little community pantry somebody else will use. So, expanding upon the fact how I said that when I was living out this value, I noticed that you can make these kind of changes in big and small ways, regardless of whether or not you have like any monetary things to contribute. So I just have a little list here of some ideas on ways that you could start becoming more engrossed in the concept of community and living that every day. Joining community groups. One thing that I did was I joined this group on Facebook, and it's all about exchanging things with other people. And I also joined another group that is called like DMRS Refugee Group. So it's all about supporting refugees that are coming into this country with nothing. So a lot of times people post things on there. They have a chair to get rid of, or household items, things like that to give away or exchange. There's very simple ways, just talking to people, valuing their perspectives. You can help with shelters, pantries, churches, help your neighbors with tasks. Another thing I did actually came from an idea of one of my former professors, Stephen Satz. He described one way that he kind of remembered to check in on people and hold himself accountable as a servant leader. He said that he would has a big jar and it has everybody's name in it, all of his employees and people in his building, and that he takes out a name at least once a day. He tries to do it more, but at least once a day, and he goes and checks in with that person. He connects with them. He sees if there's anything that he can do to help them. So I kind of took that as that always kind of stuck with me after he talked about that. So I during this process, I tried to implement that more. I didn't have as organized of a way, but I realized that a lot of times when I'm in the hallways, I'm seeing different people all the time, and you don't always get a chance to connect with people that you don't work closely with in the building. So, whenever I would see somebody, I would try to take a chance, even if it was just for a moment, to check in, talk to them, go out of my way to talk to people that I don't get a chance to work with directly. And I would like to implement a better system to like kind of what he was doing to make sure that he made everybody feel involved, everybody feel like you're there for them and that you're willing to help in any way you can. And finally, the thing I think that I took away the most from this is that the more you do these little acts of community, the more it becomes ingrained in you, and the more that you find yourself just doing it naturally, and you're noticing times when you do it without thinking about it, and you just want to do more. In conclusion, I just want to leave with one more quote by Helen Keller. And she said, "Alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much." And that just goes back to thinking about or feeling like a lot of these things are very small, but when you start doing it more and more and you start getting in groups of people, you start getting more involved, the more people helping, the bigger ideas you're going to have, the bigger impacts you can make. So it really does take all of us, and it's very meaningful. And it just, like I said, it becomes ingrained in you, and you'll just find it just becomes who you are. And I think that's the whole point of the Quaker values. Like, it just becomes a part of who you are to your core, and it makes you a better person. And thank you so much for this class. I really enjoyed it.